Hi, I'm Ms. Deline, and today's oracle card is Great Smoking Mirror and Reflections. The attributes are seeing other images of self through others, eliminating the I, instigating the we, recognizing all things as one, learning life lessons through observing and applying. Challenges are looking and seeing, abolishing hierarchy, accepting the equality of all life forms, replacing self-importance by esteem for all, seeing the reflection of truth. If Great Smoking Mirror has appeared in your spread today, you're being asked to look at another one of yourself who is currently in your life. Any human, stone person, creature being, standing person, or cloud person can be the other one of yourself that appears. This other reflection of you may be your exact opposite or very similar in nature. Having compassion for the situation of others without destroying the sacred space of the self is another lesson of Great Smoking Mirror. The needs of others can be viewed with compassion without draining energy or resources from the self. When we give too much energy to worrying about others or parenting them so that they do not take action for themselves, we have defeated the purpose of compassion. The smoking mirror also shows us that if we are strong enough to make our own way in life, we can encourage others to do the same, assisted by our compassion and emotional support. This is one reflection that teaches every person to care and share to the degree that makes others more able to develop the ability to do things for themselves. Equal partners make the best teams. Then the we is stronger than the I. Another message is that if you have been keeping to yourself too long, it is time for other reflections. Go out and be around others who can instill you with joy. Seek new ideas and experiences. Don't wait for the world to come to you. You may find that lack of new input is stilting your attitude or growth potential. New reflections found in others are gifts to the self who yearns for adventure. The gift of the Great Smoking Mirror is the removal of the illusion that blinds us to our own self-importance. When we see the smoke clear and realize that we have been fooled into believing that some are greater or more gifted than we are, the cosmic trickster has the last laugh. The illusion clears and our fears of being unworthy stares back at us. Sometimes unworthiness insists we feel puffed up and grander than the next person, or that we hide our gifts. In humility, we see the joke and must laugh at the self-importance that hides our unworthy shame. It will leave if we can love it with compassion and see through the illusion created by earlier pain. In all cases, the Great Smoking Mirror calls for equality through pointing out the similarities that all life forms may teach you. The ideas of blame, shame, and regret have no place in the present moment. Drop the smokescreen of lost or old memories and move into the clarity of present reflections which are available. When we ask, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" From the Great Smoking Mirror, the answer comes forth through the smoke. All reflections are equal. There's so many directions I could go with this card, I don't even know where to start. But first I want to talk about where it says, the smoking mirror also shows us, give too much energy to worrying about others or parenting them so they do not take action for themselves. This is this one reflection that teaches every person to care and share to the degree that makes others more able to develop the ability to do things for themselves. I'd like to talk about that. I have people in my life who have raised their children to be helpless. A couple of people. I've watched it happen. I've tried to point this out, and one of the people that I pointed it out to got it, and she allowed her child to become self-sufficient. Other people don't get it at all. There is no way to convince them that in giving too much, in doing everything for the child, they're teaching the child helplessness. The child does not learn responsibility. The child does not learn to take care of themselves. They grow up, and an example, one was the same age as my daughter, and she didn't know how to take care of herself at all when she grew up, and she got married right away. And anyway, she ended up being bankrupt by the time she was 24. And her mother, who was a friend of mine, says, well, you know, she's young, she just didn't know how to handle money. And I had to keep my mouth shut because my daughter was the same age and she had just purchased her own home by herself. And so this woman had been raised, and she didn't know how to take care of herself because her mother did every single thing for her. And then when she got married, her husband was supposed to do all the things for her. And you know, in her mind and in her mother's mind. And the world doesn't work that way. We need to be independent. We need to know how to take care of ourselves, no matter who we are, male, female, it doesn't matter. We need to be able to take care of ourselves. And so that's such an important thing, that you know, helping people become equal to you, not keeping that stance of I know more than you, I'm smarter than you, I'm wiser than you, I'm better than you, and so I have to do all the things for you because you don't know and you aren't wise. And instead of teaching them to take care of themselves and become independent, equal human beings. Then the other thing there, that when we see the smoke clear and realize we've been fooled into believing that some are greater or more gifted than we are, and the cosmic trickster has the last laugh. We are all equal, and it doesn't mean we're all the same. See, people sometimes confuse equality with being the same. We are not the same, but we're equal. So one of the things I had an issue with the women's movement back in the 70s. I was part of it, you know, that was my time. But anyway, they wanted to be equal. Women wanted to have equal pay and all those things. And so they started dressing like men, carrying briefcases, you know, wearing ties, you know, suits and ties and everything, and climbing that telephone pole to prove they could do it and all those things. What they were doing was trying to be like a man, as much like a man as possible, so that they would be considered equal. That's not what it's about. It's not about being the same as men. It's about being equal, but we're different. Different doesn't mean you're not equal. Anyway, that's a huge soapbox I could talk hours about. I could write a book about. But embrace your differences. Embrace your uniqueness. And know that we are all equal, which brings us into the current time, you know, about racism, where, and I'm just going to briefly touch on it, because that's another thing I could talk about for hours. I get really emotional about it. So racism is all about thinking that we're better than somebody else. And so my question is, whoever said white was the best color out of all the color palette of human skin, right? That makes no sense to me. But it is what it is. And so racism is about, you know, people thinking they're better than other people. People thinking they're more evolved, or they're smarter, or they're whatever. I don't even know, because I don't get it. I have no idea. All I know is that racism is a form of looking down on other people and pushing them down and holding them down and thinking of them in a different way, when in reality they are equal to us. We are all equal. It doesn't matter the color of our skin, it doesn't matter the language we speak, the religion we practice, the cultural traditions we follow. Those things don't matter. Those are all differences. They make us different. They don't make us less than or more than. We are all equal people. All of us are equal. And once we begin to embrace that as and it's not just an American thing, it's a humanity thing, right? You know, in India, I remember when I was a kid reading about the caste system and how the lighter skinned Indians were in a higher caste than the darker skinned Indians. And, you know, just, I could go on and on. So, as not just as Americans or whatever, or as white people, because it's not just it's not just white people that are looking down on their fellow man. It's a human thing. So as a civilization of humanity, we need to embrace that we are all equal. Different, but equal. Different is good. We all have something to offer the world. We all have a unique gift. We all have a special essence that no one else has. And that doesn't mean we're any better or any less worthy than anybody else. It just means we are different. So please, 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 I know I'm probably preaching to the choir here because most people on a spiritual path totally get that concept, but I'm saying it anyway. Different does not mean less than or more than. It just means different. Equality is where it's at. We are all equal. I love you guys. I am no better than you. I'm no smarter than you. I'm no more evolved than you. I am just a person, and I just want to be of service and help people see their value and see the power that they have in their own personal expression. Inequality, I'm signing off.